So, my dear friends, welcome back to English classes. Today, we are going to study past perfect continuous, present perfect continuous. How to use present perfect continuous? We know present perfect continuous structure is subject have has been plus v1 ing is the present perfect continuous structure. If you know present perfect continuous structure, it is very convenient for you to learn past perfect continuous. There is very slight difference. The usage, there is a vast difference, but in structurally we can find a very simple difference. That is, there is we used to have and has plus v1 ing. Have and has plus v1 ing. We have has been plus v1 v3 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 used in perfect tense, and also been is the v3 form plus continuous purpose ing we have to use. So this is the mixture of perfect and continuous. When there is a perfect and continuous in past, only single word is there. That is the auxiliary verb what we use. That is helping verb what we use is have in as in present perfect. In past perfect, we must use only had and be. Had been ing. Uday Bhaskar, please keep it mute. Here, only had been plus ing is the form of structural form of the past perfect continuous. There will be first subject, we know. Subject after had and been, had been. Subject had been plus v1 plus ing is the structural form of past perfect continuous. We understood very clearly. Present perfect continuous, and now we are going with the past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is with subject have, has, place. We must use had plus v3 been plus ing. Had been plus ing is the form of past perfect continuous. Okay, this past perfect continuous usage, if you take for example one example, yesterday we learned, I have been learning English for 10 years. I have been learning English for 10 years. This is a long process. Started the action in the past, and it has been going on still. That is present perfect continuous. But now here it is past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is a little bit different. An action which began in the past and continued for a long time in the past and ended in the past until another action took place in the past. Didn't you understand? Just an action began in the past, an action continued for a long time in the past. Action started and continued for a long time in the past and ending in the past at the same time when another action took place in the past. When there are two actions took place in the past, two actions happened in the past. One action was longer than happened for a long time and ending this action and started another action. That is which one happened for a long period, long time happened action is expressed in past perfect continuous. For example, I had been riding a bicycle for half an hour when I fell off. This is very clear. An action happened for a long time in the past. That is, I had been riding a bicycle for half an hour is a long action in the past. It happened, it's completely finished in the past. Yet when I fell off, up to that time, one action took place. That is, had been riding bicycle happened for half an hour till another action took place. What is the second action? I fell off from the bicycle. When I fell off from the bicycle, the first action, long action, the which action happened for a long period has stopped. That is, fell off. When I fell off is a past tense. Which action happened for a long period in the past is expressed with the help of past perfect continuous tense. So with the very simple example, with this very simple example, I hope that you are able to understand. So an action which had been going on, for a long period in the past. An action which had been going on for a long period in the past is expressed in a past perfect continuous. This past perfect progressive, we can call it. Perfect progressive is the past action continued for a long period in the past, ended in the past when another action took place from there. One another action happened there. When another action happened there, this action stopped there. That long period of action we want to express in the past. Past what happened we are speaking now. That is past perfect continuous. For example, my uncle had been working in this office for 10 years till he retired. Until he got retired, he had been working for 10 years. 10 years of his work I want to express with the help of past perfect continuous. And already the action already finished, both the action completed. About the finished activity I am speaking with the help of past perfect continuous and simple past. It is mixed. When the sentence becomes a little larger or longer, by the time when two actions we mention, only particularly the past perfect continuous is used. Okay. Then a lot of examples in our life situations, many examples. I had been living in Mumbai. When I studied in that school, in Delhi Public School. I had been staying I had been staying in Mumbai when I studied in Dev Public School. So when I studied in Dev Public School, I had been studying there for a long period of time. When the action happened for a long period of time, this is the tense we have to use. Many examples we can say, a lot of examples, innumerable examples we can create of our own. So, my dear friends, you have to remember what is the main use of past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous usage you have to remember. Okay. So structure already we know. Subject will be subject after had been is the structural form. Had been plus V1, the V1 plus ing form. V1 plus ing form is the inform, that is present participle. It's called as present participle and object. Okay. So already examples I told you. I had been playing chess. I had been playing chess when power gone out. Power went out. Power went out. Power went out. This is the here had been playing is a long period. I had been playing chess when power went out. An activity in the past was going on. An activity in the past had been going on for a long period, a period of time. An action had happened. Suddenly another action took place, that is power went out. When power went out, I was unable to play the games. I stopped my game stopped there. This kind of activities, long period of action took place in the past is mentioned with the help of past perfect continuous. Okay. Then what about what is the negative of this one? Let us find once the negative of past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous, already there is a helping verb and there is an auxiliary verb, that is had is the auxiliary verb. Subject is common, subject after had not. Had not is also called as hadn't or had not. Had not or hadn't. Hadn't after been is the verb. Been is the V3 form of be. Been plus V1 plus ing is the continuous purpose using one. Yes, Hadn't been. Hadn't been. I hadn't been learning English for 6 months. I hadn't been learning English for 6 months. She hadn't been. She hadn't been undergoing treatment for 1 year. She hadn't been. She hadn't been undergoing treatment for 1 year. It shows that not undergoing treatment. She is not going undergoing treatment for 1 year means previously she had gone under treatment sometimes. So that is the meaning. So here it hadn't been raining for 3 months. It hadn't been raining for 3 months. It hadn't been is the negative form. It hadn't been raining. It hadn't been raining for 3 months. 3 months. It hadn't been raining for 3 months. Shows that 3 months onwards, no rain at all. It hadn't been raining. Past 3 months, when we take, we can understand there is no rain at all. That is hadn't been. It hadn't been raining is the verb form. Raining is the main verb. Had and been both are the helping verbs. Okay, right. Then this is the negation, negative formation of past perfect continuous. And what about the questions? Let us find the question formation. Question is also very easy. First, we have to take already had is here. Had is placed at the beginning of the sentence. Had is placed at the beginning of starting of the sentence with the had. Then, because the had is the helping verb. Had is the helping verb. Had is followed by subject. Subject after you have to use been is the word in perfect and V1 plus ing form, that is present participle plus object question mark. This is the method of framing the question. From all these examples and all these days, all these tenses, we understood very clearly that how to frame the question of a sentence. If there is a helping verb, we should place the helping verb at the beginning of the sentence. When we put the helping verb at the starting of the sentence, it becomes a yes or no question. A yes or no question. We get yes or no question. We know that. If you want to get a WH question also, it is very clear. Before the helping verb, you should place a question word, that is what, where, why, how, who, whom, whose. These question words suitably, what kind of a question you are planning to ask, that question word you have to place, then work completed. That is the easiest. This is the easiest way of framing the questions, negatives, and statements. Here we are using the method of first part is the answer, next negative, and later questions. So generally question to answer we go, but here first answer to question we are doing. Let us see here. Had he been reading? Had he been reading the novel? Had he been reading the novel? Had he been reading the novel? I can stop there. Means for a period, for a long period in the past, whether he was reading the novel or not. That is the question. Yes or no question this is. Okay. If we want to frame the WH question, what is the method? What had he been reading? If I ask just framing, adding what here, what had he been reading? What had he been reading? If you add particular time here, for an hour. Here, what had he been reading for an hour? Means 1 hour onwards, not at present. A past time 1 hour onwards, what had he been reading? He had been reading something. I do not know what is exactly what he had been reading. One book is there with him, that I know. So if I want to ask about a completed yesterday happened or previously a particular period happened action, I want to ask the questions to him. This is the question. What had he been reading? What had he been reading for 1 hour yesterday? Okay. In this way, we have to ask. So, my dear learners, you understood how to frame the positive statements in the past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous is used to express a action which had been going on for a particular time in the past, for a long period of time in the past, until another action took place in the past. This should not forget. Two actions, two works are there. One action happened for a long time in the past, it completes there, and another action started there. Both finished in the past. There is no connection with the present. Remember, everybody, present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous, if we take, there is no relation. Present perfect continuous is past, an action started in the past and continued for a long period in the past and is still going on. The action is still going on. That is present perfect continuous. Yesterday I said it had been raining means, and now also it is raining. It has been raining. It has been raining means now also it is raining. When the action started in the past and there will be some break, and finally when we speak the sentence, it is raining outside. But past perfect continuous is not like that. Past perfect continuous, it had been raining. It had been raining till the match started. It had been raining till the match started. It means an action happened for a long period in the past. Until the match started, it had been raining for a few hours maybe, or the whole day maybe. It had been raining. But when the match started, what happened? The rain stopped. The rain stopped. That is the meaning. It had been raining for a long period, for 10 hours, for 5 hours, when the match started. When the match started, till the match started, till when the match began, that time rain stopped. Rain stopped, match started. Okay, here there are two examples. Two actions took place in the past. This type of number of sentences you should be able to create. You should be ready to create of your own. Okay. Um, I had been waiting for the bus when I met my friend. I had been waiting for the bus at the bus stop for 2 hours when the bus arrived. I had been waiting for the bus for 2 hours when the bus arrived. When the bus arrived, my waiting completed there. Waiting stopped there and I entered the bus. Okay. This is the usage of past perfect continuous. So I hope everybody understood. All of you understood very clearly. So the usage is not written here. How to frame negative is hadn't been is the negative form. Hadn't been is the negative form is hadn't been. And also I feel that the usages and everything I would like to give you here, the usages and everything I want to show you here. You can find the usages, past continuous tense, the past continuous tense, what I explained very clearly given here, also known as the past perfect progressive tense, it is also called as, shows that an action that started in the past continued up until another time in the past. The past perfect continuous tense is constructed using had been plus the verbs present participle, that is root form V1 plus ing form. So these total notes you can find, you can read and understand, my dear friends. All the usages. For example, some examples let us see here. He had been drinking milk out the carton when mom walked into the kitchen. I had been working at the company for 5 years when I got the promotion. When I got the promotion, I working in the company, I stopped. Means for a long period, the action happened. After that, my work stopped. I got the promotion until that. A lot of example we can say. She had been practicing dance until she got married. Until she got married. When she got married, she stopped dance practice. Practice stopped. We can say another example. He had been searching for a job. He had been searching for a job when he got selected for the job of software engineer. So in this way, two actions, one action when stopped there, another action continued for a long period. Such kind of many examples given here. I had been working at the company for 5 years when I got the promotion already given here. When, for, since, and before are words that may used alongside the past perfect continuous. The time references, generally we say that some time references, time related words we can use. That is, here you see when already we used for, we can use for 5 hours, for 6 days, for 6 months. Since also, since a particular time, since Monday, since January, since December, since 2010, since 2005, etc. we can use. Okay, that is the importance. The word timed reference we can use here. The time reference you can remember. That all, and moreover, here Martha had been, the next example you have to see, Martha had been walking 3 miles a day before she broke her leg. Her leg fractured. Her leg got fractured. Before that, she had been walking 3 miles a day. It shows that an action continued for a long period in the past until she broke her leg. Until she broke her leg, she continuously 3 miles every day she walked. So, okay, the program that was terminated had been working well since 1945. Since 1945 till 1945, the program was working well until the program was cancelled. Till the program was cancelled, it had been working well. So, like that, a few examples given here. So, all of you, my dear learners, you can find these all examples and get all the notes I will give you. Moreover, we are planning another today, that is future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous is the only one left for us. That future perfect continuous, let us learn now. So past perfect continuous after future perfect continuous is the last one. Last one. This future perfect continuous, whenever we listen the future, we remember that there are two helping verbs. What are the helping verbs you remember very clearly? What are the helping verbs used? That is will and shall. Future time reference words are will and shall. Shall is used with the I and we, the first person singular and plural. And also will and shall are the two future words, future reference words in all the sentences. Now let us study about future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous. Okay. Future perfect continuous. This future perfect continuous is the last one among the tenses. Future perfect continuous. Let us find once the structure of future perfect continuous. It is the longest structure sometimes. Subject will be subject after will and shall are the common parts of future. Will and shall after have been, have been plus V1 plus ing plus object is the future perfect continuous structure. This is very rarely used tense form in English. It's almost outdated tense form because its function can be done by using the future continuous sometimes. So why should we use this one? It is not much in use. Okay, but let us know about the future perfect continuous. What is the purpose of a future perfect continuous? Example, if I take I shall have been teaching English. Teaching English. I shall have been teaching English. This sentence here, shall have been teaching English, the longest verb form. Shall have and been are the helping verbs, and the final one, teaching, is the main verb. Teaching is the main verb. So, okay. So here, I shall have been teaching English. When we speak, what do you understand? That is the usage. That is the usage. What is the usage? When we have to use this one, the use of this tense is already, I told you, it is not in use. It is almost outdated because its function can be done by some other tense forms. That is, future continuous is enough. An action which will start in future and will continue for a long period in the past. A certain time in the future, the action will happen. Such kind of actions are expressed in future perfect continuous. Okay, an action starts in future and continued for a long time in the future and end in the future. End is not mentioned. End is not mentioned anywhere in the future, but it continues for a long period in the future. For example, I shall have been traveling this time tomorrow. I shall have been traveling. I shall have been. I am not traveling now. I am here now. This time tomorrow, what is going to happen? I will speak for a long period. What will happen? That I am speaking now. I shall have been traveling for 5 hours tomorrow. This time. Tomorrow. This time. This time of tomorrow, what is going to happen? We shall have been learning English for English. We shall have been learning English. Yes, tomorrow this time. So we shall have been learning English tomorrow this time shows that an action which starts in future and continues for a long period in the future. Its end is not mentioned. Tomorrow a particular time, or next week a particular time, next day a particular time. An action will continue, start and continue for a long period in the future is mentioned with the help of future perfect continuous. So it's negative and everything is easy. Negative is shall not or will not. India will have been playing the match next month or next Sunday. India will have been playing the match next Sunday. So this shows that next Sunday India's match starts and a particular time starts and continues for a long period in the future. That is spoken present. That is future perfect continuous. Okay. He will not have been learning English. He will not have been learning English next month. Next month, what action will not happen? That is spoken now. So it is very rarely used. Question also the same way. Shall is used at the beginning, or will is used at the beginning. Will or shall is used at the beginning, then it becomes the question. Will you have been traveling? Will you have been traveling by this time tomorrow? Will you have been, or shall we won't use generally because shall is used with the I and we already we know. And another one more thing you have to remember, with all the subjects, that is I, we, you, they, he, she, it. With all these subjects we can use will. Already contracted form is there. We know that contracted form is generally used. I, you will, they will, he will, she will. LL is there. That is contracted form of will or shall. So, my dear learners, I hope that future perfect continuous you understood an action which began in the past in the future and continue for a long period in the future, and its end is not clearly mentioned. That action will happen in the future. So future happen and future continues for a continue for a long period in the future is called future perfect continuous. Okay, undoubtedly we can say that it is very rarely used, so still we should remember the structural form of this tense. And if we take the whole book, any whole book or certain occasions, because this is just as an imaginary work, I shall have been driving, I can say that I shall have been driving, I shall have been driving when he arrived. When he arrives, I shall have been driving. When the phone rings, when the phone rings, I will have been sleeping. I will have been sleeping when the phone rings. This is not happened. This just from my imagination I speak. That is, when an action is going to happen in future, about that just I will have been sleeping when the phone call comes. When the phone call comes, when the phone rings up, by the time I will have been sleeping. This is not happening, an action not happens. Okay. So like this, the action which is going to happen in future and for a long period in the future, that is expressed with the help of a future perfect continuous. So present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. In brief, and also say, we can say that covering all the parts in detail only. In short, but in detail, we have completed. So everybody understood the usage of each tense. Everyone should remember the usage of all these tenses, all these structures, particularly you should remember. We have discussed all the structures very clearly in detail, and from all this in common we can gather that the structural forms in the helping verbs and the main verbs only differences. Main verbs and the structural form, the helping verbs, auxiliary verb, as well as the main verb, the part of the main verb, these parts only differentiates. So this difference, if you understand, if you grasp the idea, it is very simple will be for you to construct the sentences of your own and to distribute it among your friends and communicate. The conversation becomes very easier and comfortable for you. For that, I hope that you people will try. Next gathering of the vocabulary and everything is going to study in the further classes. When we go to the further and the coming classes, we are going to speak more about many topics. Many more topics are waiting for you. I hope that everybody understood. Let us take leave and all the very best for your communication skills development programs. Until we meet tomorrow, let me take leave.